we are going to now change gears and go global. We've got high-tech equipment in this room behind me, which is going to link us with Italy and Sonoma also. So we're going to bring in two very special guests to discuss the things that we've been talking about today from a very global perspective. And there it is. Italy. Are we Italy? It is Italy in Sonoma, right? I see casks of wine. Right? Or is that a backdrop? Douglas? Yeah, we're connecting now.
And the magic of technology, it's actually working. It may not for a long time, but it seems to be working. I'm getting several conversations simultaneously. I assume the question is, what am I doing in Italy? Yeah, I was very close. Okay, I'll try to be brief. When we were all well, let me start off by saying it's very mean to ask a senior citizen to be awake at 1:20 in the morning. Just to let you know. When we were all young men, me, Doug, and Jim, we met working at William Turnbull's office in San Francisco. For those who don't know, William Turnbull was a member of MLTW, which is Maryland Whitaker MLT with Turnbull and Whitaker, who became very famous during an iconic project called Sea Ranch. We all entered the firm at the same time, and this was a moment when the firm took off and tripled in size and met some really extraordinary projects. And we were all, none of us were even 30 years old at the time, and we assumed responsibilities that were way over our heads. But that, formed us, and we all became very close friends. And then over the course of the years, we all had different directions. And for a whole series of reasons, I was very curious about living in Europe. And I came to Italy, and I met a young lady here, and even though I tried to escape, she brought me back. So I found myself in Italy trying to work as an architect, and decided I should try opening my own office. At the same time, Jim Goring was starting his own office, and we decided we could do this together. Bud was off to another adventure, opening his own office with another partner, eventually joined a research firm called Gould Evans. And in the last few years, we all came back together again and started collaborating once again. So it's a life story that took a weird twist.
Oh, well, thank you for that. Doug, how are you? Are you live? I think we just lost Doug again, but that's okay. Can you'll come back, I hope. We're very hospitable, and it's not 1 o'clock there. Thank you very much. How much is that informed? The fact that you're in Italy and your projects are in Italy, United States, you must travel extensively. Does that amount of travel inform the projects that you're working on, or do you take most of your inspiration from the locality? How does that work for you?
Well, I travel less now than I used to, but the project that has brought us all together is a project here in Milan. I'm sorry, in Italy, in Piemonte, in the Langhe region, which is the image you see behind me. And the Langhe is 45 minutes away from Milan, so it's an area that we all have frequented often. It's a wonderful area if anybody hasn't visited yet, and especially for those who like to eat. And those visits obviously influenced a lot the proposals that we made and that were accepted. We had won a competition to do this project. So yes, lots of extensive traveling in Italy. As a matter of fact, later on today, I'm going to Ferrara, where the University of Ferrara is going to give us a prize for this project specifically.
Congratulations! That's very, very exciting, and thank you for that. So, what part of the Italian culture do you find the style, the creativity? What is the part of the Italian culture that inspires you the most, or what is it that you embrace the most? I heard you say food earlier. That would be inspirational to me, but is there another part that you find the most?
Yeah, before actually moving to Italy, I had visited obviously Italy and Europe in general quite a lot. But what I've discovered since living in Italy is that sincerely, I don't think there's another country on earth that has a greater density of things to see of different periods in history all over the place. You have no idea what you are not seeing when you visit Italy. You know, most people go to Venice and Rome and Florence, but the whole country is extraordinarily dense in very specific kinds of experiences. And so that's really, I think, what qualifies Italy as a very unique place. I spent a lot of time. I used to be creative director for the Paris office of Studios Architecture, so I visited France quite a lot, and frankly, I adore the country. But it doesn't have the same incredible density of stuff that Italy has. You know, just to give you a few examples, a few miles away from Milan, there is what's considered the most beautiful piazza in the world. There are religious sort of sites all around Milan that are more incredible one than the other, and not of just one period, of just a whole series of periods. It's really incredible when you visit Italy, get it off of the beaten path, the things that you see. It's just amazing. I like music. I saw ZZ Top in a medieval castle with 300 people. It's a crazy experience, and the whole country's like that.
Yeah, that's a great statement to the history. Douglas, you've joined us. How are you? How are things in your Cava? Is live in the design district in Miami, and your face now is about 5 feet tall and the wall, and your adoring fans are looking at you and like to know what's happening in San Francisco, what you're up to, and just tell us a little bit about your perspective on the GaS studios.
So the two studios we have in California are actually in Sonoma and Berkeley. I'm in San Francisco because unfortunately I'm getting ready to leave for the airport in about 15 minutes. So I can tell you more about what's happening in wine country up in California. It's sort of the opposite of what André just described. So instead of hundreds and thousands of years of history, we have about 50 for when wine started taking off in that unknown aborigines. But it's created an incredible place to come to experience wine. I think it's sort of leaped over some of the other regions that are now catching back up with the importance of getting experiences for people when we come, not just to come taste the wine. So that's been really enjoyable watching that change over the last. I've been doing wine work since 1990, so it's a lot of fun to see the development and the changes that come.
Okay, well, what has surprised you the most about working on this particular project, and can you tell us a little bit more about it specifically?
The one behind you? Or which project are you speaking specifically? I'm sorry.
That you're working on right now, California, the one behind you, yeah.
So that was a couple years ago. That's Hannah Family Wines. And so the beauty of doing wine cave is one of the most sustainable buildings that you can build because you're really not impacting the landscape. You're taking advantage of natural cooling, and you're trying to keep a product at stable temperature for up to 2 or 3 years, and to do that without mechanical intervention is a really a great thing, and it's based upon historic building methods that were used hundreds of years ago. So it's really come back to fruition in the Napa and Sonoma area.
That's terrific. And do you plan on projects in Italy? Do you find yourself very, very comfortable where you are? What's your take there?
Well, so we are very fortunate as we're able to share resources. So we have our staff in California working on projects in Italy, and staff in Italy working on projects in California. I think that kind of cross-cultural experience has been wonderful for our staff, and they kind of meet their colleagues virtually and got to share their experiences with how to put buildings together, because they are in fact very different in the two different areas. So that's been a really good experience. I have been asking Andre to definitely do a winery in Italy, so he's working on it.
Yes, I hear he's working late into.
Yeah, he won't working late into it tonight.